Friends, welcome to this Daily Devotional video here at Blanc UMC Methodist Church. No doubt, behind me and beside me, you'll see a tremendous amount of food. It's great to see it. This food was collected as part of a collection from Fish of Grand Blanc, which is an agency that helps to make sure that people have the food they need, the resources they need, during hardships and challenging times in life, challenging seasons in life. All this was collected through the light show at Bicentennial Park here in Grand Blanc that went on for a couple weekends, and so overwhelmed with donations of food, they needed extra space. So we were able to offer them our fellowship hall as kind of a staging place, a holding place where food could be brought to, so that they could still use it, have it, and be able to share it with limited capacity for storage. And it got me thinking about this passage from Matthew and from other Gospels, but I'm going to read from Matthew chapter 14. When Jesus arrived and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them and healed those who were sick. That evening, his disciples came and said to him, "This is an isolated place, and it's getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go into the villages and buy food for themselves." But Jesus said to them, "There's no need to send them away. You give them something to eat." They replied, "We have nothing here, except 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish." He said, "Bring them here to me." I love this story because even before we get to the part where Jesus takes the loaves and the fish and multiplies them and feeds the 5,000 people, we get a sense that this is an exhausting day. And not only is it an exhausting day, but this is right after Jesus had received the news that his cousin, John the Baptist, the one who baptized Jesus in the Jordan, that he'd been killed. And so this is not only a long day, but a heavy day, a heavy season in Jesus' life and in the life of the disciples. And so the disciples start to see that the crowd's getting larger. Jesus has been healing people all day, and it doesn't seem like the crowd's getting any smaller. It doesn't seem like the chaos is dwindling any. Kind of like life today, right? Every day we go through this pandemic, and it just seems like it's not letting up. We hear about vaccinations coming out, but we know it's still going to be a significant amount of time until everyone can be vaccinated. And it just starts to feel like the day's getting long and nothing's really changing for the better. The disciples name that. It's getting late. The day's getting long. Let these people who are hungry go and find something else. Jesus, we've been here all day. And besides, we don't have any food. What are we going to give them? You see, the disciples were looking around themselves, trying to figure out how Jesus expected them out of their scarcity. How Jesus expected them to feed this many people. And they said, all we have is this few loaves of bread and fish. That's all we have. This day, this season of life has demanded so much from us. And we simply don't have enough. And so Jesus begins this miracle by saying, "Bring it to me." I like to think of this as Jesus' moment just before the prestige. The prestige is part of a magic trick in which we see the revelation of what has happened. It's Jesus' way of saying, look, watch what I'm going to do. You bring me your scarcity and watch what I'm going to do. Friends, this is the overflow donation room from an event that was designed to help bring joy into people's life, happiness into people's life, and all it cost was a donation of a canned good. And during a pandemic in which we feel like there are so few resources, in which we feel like there is scarcity, this is the overflow room for donations. Watch what I'm going to do, Jesus says. Bring it to me. Bring me your scarcity and just watch what happens. How did this happen? I have a suspicion. My suspicion is that we got tired of saying all we have is fish and loaves. And we finally believe Jesus when he says, bring it to me and watch. And so carload after carload, donations were brought. And we saw what Jesus can do. What is Jesus ready to do for you? Put it this way. What is Jesus ready to do through you? And how can you take what you have and watch what Jesus can do? Amen.